What up, YouTube? We're back here with another discussion video. I always enjoy doing these, not because I think I have any particularly insightful or intelligent opinions, but just because I like to express myself on various topics, regardless of whether I have anything smart to say or not. And I always like to see people sort of debating points in the comments and stuff. I think it's interesting. So, today we're going to be discussing a fun topic, which is that of Tier 0 formats. For those of you who aren't familiar with the term, Tier 0 format basically refers to a format where there is one best deck that is like significantly better than everything else in the entire format. I don't know what exact like numbers for representation people use to like definitively calculate Tier 0. Some people say it's like 75% representation or something. I don't know, it's kind of arbitrary, but like it's sort of a you know it when you see it sort of thing. They're not super common throughout Yu-Gi-Oh history. Most of you can probably name some of the more famous examples off the top of your head. You got like Spiral format or Dragon Rulers or Teledad, stuff like that. Pretty definitively Tier 0 formats. Now, what I find baffling is that there is a consistent contingent of people out there who insist that their favorite Tier 0 format was actually really good and really fun, and more people should play it. And then, of course, anytime you actually try to organize an event around a Tier 0 format, no one shows up, and the revealed preferences demonstrate that no one wants to play these crappy formats. But, so mainly, I'm going to discuss a couple of the formats that people claim are good, and then at the end, I'm going to just make an overall argument addressing why Tier 0 formats suck in general, in my opinion. So there tend to be three main formats that people really cope on, which is kind of convenient for me because all of them were actually in a time period that I played the game, so I'm not completely just making things up, pulling them out of my ass here. I know a little bit of what I'm talking about. Like I said, I haven't played any of these formats in a long time because even if I wanted to find a game, which I don't, I wouldn't be able to because no one actually plays any of these crap formats. So first one up is Teledad. Every one of these formats I'm going to talk about has like one major flaw that's specific to it. And Teledad's really is just like so swingy. It's so high variance. It's so sacky. It's like everything bad about Edison format just turned up to like 11, just on crack. That's Teledad format for you. I mean, the format is just so crazy. It's so like fast paced in a way that was not common back then. It's like almost a modern paced format, but with like insane retro cards that just can't exist in a format that fast. I mean, Teledad has like triple Solemn Judgment, triple Royal Oppression, which is just so wrong in every way. I mean, in Edison format, it's kind of like desensitized us to how degenerative card Royal Oppression is, because at least there is this debate. Like, there's some level of debate about whether Royal Oppression is okay or not, because Edison format is just so slow and so balanced relative to the surrounding formats. But in every other format, 2008 to 2011, Royal Oppression is just like an indisputable menace to society. It just like cannot exist in formats that fast. It's so wrong that it exists. It's at 3 in Teledad, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember exactly when it went to 2. There might be like one Teledad format where it was at 3, one when it was at 2. I don't recall exactly, but like it just shouldn't be. It just can't be out there. Like there's a lot of talk in Teledad about how swingy the format is, in the sense that like you can't overextend or you'll get punished, but also you can just make a board with Royal Oppression and Solemn Judgment, and then your opponent can't play and you win. So I mean, there is that too. So I don't know, I don't like it. That's kind of my view on the problems of Teledad. Now the next one we're going to be talking about is Dragon Ruler format. This one's a little weird because I'm not even sure which version I'm supposed to like. The consensus among like good players seems to be that Baby Ruler is the more skillful mirror match or whatever, but like that format has Judgment spellbooks, which is like still a really good deck. I mean, that deck is insane. It is super obnoxious to play against. It's like the craziest control deck of all time at the time, and then also you just end on Fossil Dyna, or Jowgen, same thing, and then your opponent just can't play the game. So is Baby Rulers even a Tier 0 format, like, by some technical definition? Because I feel like it's a 2-deck format. Like, you can definitely play Judgment spellbooks, surely, because that deck is nuts. That deck is cracked. But then there's also like they've got a point about ravine rulers being sackier or whatever too, I guess, because of like broken turn one plays with AFD maybe, or mainly it's 6 cents and return are played in that version, and I think aren't played in baby rulers, though I'm not sure. I don't remember if people play RFDD in that version. Was 6 cents even out for baby rulers? God, my memory's kind of foggy on this one, in case you can't tell. But yeah, I guess I concede that the Dragon Ruler deck itself, like, isn't that toxic or anything. They're just annoyingly overpowered at the time. But there's like a lot of weird issues with both of these formats, and I'm pretty sure the predominant one that people play is the baby ruler one. Or like, well, people don't play it. Like I said, no one plays any of these, but the ones that people claim is good is the baby ruler one. And that one just has judgment spellbooks, and that's just horrible. Would not want to play in a format with that. Like there's other stuff too, like evil swarm, stun that people tried to play at the time, but that was just pure copium. Judgment spellbooks is way better than all that stuff. That being said, I don't even know if this qualifies as tier 0, as I mentioned earlier, because Judgment Spellbooks just has to be, like, close to the same league as Baby Ruler in terms of just the power level of the deck. So, I don't know. It's kind of up in the air, question mark next to this format. I've saved the worst for last. Zoo format has to be the most copium of every single one of these. So, allegedly, I have been corrected that there was some vague time period that may or may not have existed where it was, like, post Rat being hit to 2, but pre-Chalkanine. I don't know if there's an actual event in this time period or not. It's a pretty narrow sliver of time, but there is a point where you can play this format and Fusion Sub isn't a legal thing. So at least it's not screwed up in that way, I guess. However, I just hate everything about the design of these cards and like what they meant for the future of the game. Zoo really was a sort of turning point in Modern. It was kind of the beginning of like ultra consistency creep to the point where like you just needed one card starters to do your full combo, and this just had really bad implications for the game going forward. It like blended together deck types in a weird way where it's now like, yeah, you just play like your deck, but your engine is so small and hyper consistent that you can just run all these like staples and whatnot in all these other free slots that you have. So it's like before where you had to kind of balance your deck around consistency of your turn 1 combo versus like having hand traps or trap cards or board wipes or answers to things. Now it's like you don't even have to do that anymore. Like just every deck is like a super powerful like combo strategy, but then also it has like this crazy stun aspect or this crazy control aspect to it. And Zoo I really view as like the first wave of being responsible for that, because like all you need is one rat to go full combo, and you have like 12 ways of accessing the one rat. So I just hate the card design philosophy behind this entire archetype. I hate what it did to the game. This is kind of like a precursor to Lynx, really, where it's just like, yeah, just put one guy on the board and you can do your full, you can go into your extra deck extenders and just search your deck and blah, 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 do full combo. And then, you have all these flex slots to just put whatever is good in there as well. It really was like a next step in destroying the game, I think. So that's my take on why I hate Zoo. It's occurred to me that up until now I've kind of just been rambling about my pet peeves with every individual one of these formats, so the time has come for me to actually make my overall argument about why tier 0 formats are just bad, like on principle in general. And you might strike you as a little weird that I saved this for the very end and just kind of tacked it on, but I think it's something I've addressed on the channel before as well. But anyway, what do you always hear these people say about their favorite tier 0 format, about their pet tier 0 format? It's so skillful. It's like chess, you got the same pieces on both sides. It rewards skillful play. The better player usually wins, like, maybe 80 to 90% of the time, as opposed to or 60, 70 in some other formats that are more diverse that people like. Now, my response to this has always been, there's this game out there called chess where the better player wins 100% of the time. So why would you want to play a trading card game with 10,000 plus unique cards so that you can play the same 40 against your opponent and like have the better player win 85% of the time? Like, there's just no point. It is strictly worse. It invalidates like the purpose of playing a trading card game. the trading card games have all of these like thousands and thousands of cards out there so that you can build whatever deck you want. And like that is the point. That's like the appeal of playing that as opposed to playing a more skillful game where the better player wins all of the time. So a tier 0 format just eliminates like the entire purpose of playing a TCG in itself, and you would be better off playing something else. Like there's a lot of games out there that are more skillful than any TCG will ever be. And people still play trading card games because there are things about trading card games that have like unique appeal that are not that. So why are you trying to make it that is basically my point. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like. Be sure to comment. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video. Become a member. Do all that stuff. And I'll see you next time. Peace out.